My name is Andrew Reed, and I'm the Associate Professor of Film and Media Arts at the University of Pikeville. I have just finished 5 years, about to start year 6 as a full-time teacher, and I'm from Alabama originally. Kind of grew up in the country, that kind of thing, and moved around a few different places in Alabama. Was in North Carolina for 2 years, and then came straight here to start teaching full-time from graduate school. And I like movies, I like technology, I like comics, geeky stuff. I have an interest in religion, cults, good religion too. But I have a lot of varied and weird interests, and life is crazy at times, but God's been good, and it's been a good life overall.
And you've made how many films?
I can't even tell you off the top of my head, but I have 2 feature films that have been released. One that's unreleased, that's a feature film that's done. It's on a shelf for legal reasons. And I have, I guess you could say I have another feature in progress on Governor Patton, and then a lot of short films that are done and some in progress.
Wow. So as a kid, what did you want to do as a kid?
I wanted to find dinosaur bones. I wanted to be an archaeologist because when I was a child, Jurassic Park was released in my prime boyhood, and of course dinosaurs are huge amongst boys, and I liked movies. Most people like movies, and I love movies, and so Jurassic Park came out and there were action figures. I loved action figures, and I can't remember if I liked looking for fossils before that or not, but I liked looking for fossils on the playground and finding little fossils with seashells in them. And so I for a long time I thought I wanted to be an archaeologist, and then I think I wanted to draw comics in elementary school and middle school, because I would finish my elementary work early and I would doodle, and so it went from being an archaeologist to a comic book artist through grade school as a boy.
Now, did anything happen in life to spur you towards this movie making, movie teaching kind of route?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I always liked to draw, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. Through middle school and high school, I sort of gravitated towards technology stuff. I loved computers. I learned a little bit about websites. I ran a website on Game Boy Advance, and I tried a humor website for a while and tried to make money with affiliate programs. And basically, though, by my senior year, I gravitated towards video because I got a camera from my mom to film a senior trip. And within like 7 months after getting that camera, I just shot some videos with friends, and I ended up getting a job offer at the community college at this little place that made instructional videos related to post-secondary wood manufacturing processes. It's a wood center. They help promote the woodworking industry in the state. And so yeah, I made instructional videos there, and it was right by my community college, which was literally with less than a mile from my home. I had a community college a mile from my house, and this place, probably the only place I could have got paid in the whole county to edit videos, right there a mile from my house. That had to have been divine, probably. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and basically that got me into video production, and majored in that, pursued graduate degrees in that. Scholarships led me to the institutions I went to, and it just kind of worked out. I was able to graduate debt-free from college. I never had to take any loans out. The only college I paid for was the first year of community college. It was the only, and I only paid half tuition then because it was an art scholarship. And basically, I took leadership positions through college, volunteered for like SGA and that kind of stuff at community college, and from that, I was able to get other scholarships to like UNA for my undergrad, and then a fellowship to Alabama for a master's, and then I got a teaching assistant gig for my MFA, and didn't have to pay tuition. And then when I was here at UPOC, I got an MBA for free. It was tuition free. So I've been blessed. I've been very lucky. So yeah, that basically free college education took me to this direction. My mom giving me a camera, and then what was available in the area took me to where I am today. And the free education along the way brought me there as well.
So you're a man of a lot of interests, a lot of skills, very creative. So I know this is going to be a challenge, but when you think about your own call, if we were trying to put it in a sentence, Andrew Reed is called to...
So I have convoluted ideas about that, about destiny and God's will and man's will. I believe that God has a has a, I think God has an optimal future for everyone, but I think we're human and we're going to make mistakes, but God can still use our mistakes and the mistakes that others might make that harm us for some kind of good, especially if we submit ourselves to His will. And I know I sound like a theologian or something there, but no, I think that when you start thinking about concepts of calling, and I think when you say calling, that word it's a loaded word in terms of it does make you think about destiny and somebody's purpose. And I do feel like that a path was laid for me to pursue this, what I'm in. I've certainly made mistakes along the way. It took longer for me to get an I could have went and got an MFA straight out of undergrad and taught in 2 years and taught, but I didn't. I did a master's first because I got a scholarship to do it, and so I did. But I took an unconventional route to get to the MFA. I got a degree I didn't have to get, but during the time I was getting that, it allowed me to make a film in Alabama. Something tragic happened. This movie called I'm with Phil I made about a tornado that hit the town, and that kind of propelled me into graduate school and into getting this career. I know that I wouldn't have got this job here at UPike if I hadn't have made I'm with Phil, because making it taught me a lot, and it taught me crowdfunding. I raised $26,000 to help release it, and that was impressive. That impressed the dean, and I gave a talk on crowdfunding. And so I feel like all of these things work together to bring me here to where I am today. Have I made mistakes along the way? Maybe, yes. I know there's things that I've done that God hasn't wanted me to do. I've made mistakes, but God can use even our mistakes for His good. He can still turn things around. It's not His will that we make mistakes, but He can still use us in His will in spite of our mistakes. So, convoluted answer to this question of destiny and calling. And some might argue God knows we're going to make those mistakes before we make them. And so, there is the optimal future is the one we're living. I don't know. I like philosophy too. There's a lot of books back there about that.
Well, that leads us to, as you dream and you think, what would be like a dream job for you?
That's a good question. I love helping people, and I love working with students and inspiring them. But I think probably if I could do anything I wanted to, it would probably be head of the creative head of DC Comics or something like that. I think Jeff Johns or whatever. He's an awesome guy. And he got his start by being an intern, I think, for Richard Donner, and basically he just kind of worked his way up. Now he has say over all kinds of stuff. So I would love to have I like making things that inspire people, and I'm obsessed with a lot of the shows that I liked as a kid, and so I would love to make a Justice League cartoon or something like that and be kind of over the whole story, not necessarily write every episode, but kind of oversee the story and what it's going to be about and be like the creative head of a property like that. That's probably my dream job. But would I be most happy doing that day to day? Probably not, because I'd have to live probably in California and I'd be running around all the time. And even though that would be probably my dream job, I don't think I would be as happy doing that as I am probably what I do now. If that makes any sense. I love Power Rangers too. If I could have creative control over a new season of Power Rangers, that'd be awesome. Probably my dream job.
So as you think about what you're currently doing in your passions and interests with your call, do you feel like what you do right now as a job aligns with your call in life?
I think it does. I think I can look back and I can see how I've been kind of led here. And you don't always know where to go or what to do. Sometimes you do have two options that both look appealing, or you may have neither option may look good. But you just have to do it. There was a book I was reading recently from a Christian author about trying to discern God's will in your life, and really it just starts with taking action. You have to take action at some point. You can't just sit and wait completely. You have to be proactive, and so you do your best to make the decisions with the brain that God gave you, and hopefully you'll stumble in the right direction, as my pastor has said. That's what's important. As long as we're stumbling in the right direction, that's good.
So you had influence. You talked about inspiring people, inspiring students. So you've had lots of influence. But who's influenced you or inspired you in this path?
There's been a lot of people, I think, in my life that have really pushed me to become the person I am. But I think my parents really pushed the importance of education and the importance of hard work and being good at what you do. My dad, he went all the way, got a PhD. And so I don't have a PhD, but I have a terminal degree. And he didn't teach college, but he had a big job for the state, and he always really pushed education. And both he and my mom came from families where they were the first. They were the first people to go to college, basically, in their family, or their siblings. They and their siblings were the first in that generation. Their parents did not go to college. Their grandparents didn't go to college. They and their siblings were the first to go to college, and they both grew up as farmers, picking cotton and all kinds of stuff. And my mom had an outhouse until middle school, and so they grew up poor, and so they really taught me the value of hard work, and they really, I think, kind of drove me to be the person I am today. And then giving me a camera for Christmas, that really is what set me on this path. If I hadn't got that camera, I might have went into programming and computer science. Probably wouldn't be nearly as happy, honestly. So, yeah.
So if a person was watching this and they said, "Man, you're living my dream. I want to do that." What did you do to position yourself to be where you're at right now?
Well, the best advice I can give people in terms of trying to make the most out of their life is take advantage of the possibilities that become available to you. Now, you can't say yes to everything because you'll overextend yourself. You have to be judicious. But early on, you're going to get there's not going to be as many opportunities. And so you take them when you can. Anytime you have an opportunity to experience something new, or travel, or go even maybe do some kind of little, filming a football game or whatever, take advantage of opportunities. Don't be afraid. It's too easy to let fear, control your decisions. If you watch the news, right now, you think that, like, if you go to Walmart, you're probably going to get shot, and anything could happen, but you're way more likely to get hit by a car, just going to McDonald's, a drunk driver. And so you can't let your life be ruled by fear. You have to move forward and trust that God's going to take care of you and going to work things out for your good. So take advantage of the opportunities that are available to you. Learn to keep the things in your life that are important at highest priority, and don't overextend so much that you lose quality time with family and friends. It's easy to do that, so you got to have that in balance. And so learn to try to take advantage of things, and I think serving others brings greater happiness than almost anything.
So with that, you are serving, you're teaching, you're inspiring. And when people look at you on the outside, they may say, "Gosh, here's a man who has everything together, and I don't have anything together." So people might come and have no clue what they're supposed to do with their life. Mm-hmm. Outside of taking advantage of opportunities, any other advice you would have for a person who's just clueless?
Well, I'll straight up say that most people, I think pretty much everybody that seems like they have it together, doesn't necessarily mean that togetherness came easy. And there's plenty of times where you're going to be stressed or worried or have a breakdown or cry, and that's okay. We're human, And so, first of all, I think you can run into some problems looking up to people too much and thinking that they're infallible. You could set yourself up to be disappointed sometimes if you put too much faith in other people. So first of all, I'll openly say, I don't have it as together as I'd like. There's plenty of things I'd like to improve in terms of making more time for family and friends, having more, finding ways to help students become more successful. There's always room for improvement. So everybody's just trying to do the best they can. And so I'd say don't put too much faith in other people, and don't make yourself feel bad by comparison. And so in terms of trying to make the most out of life and find a calling, I think that you really need to reflect a lot too on who you are and what you want out of life. And if you're not sure, you need to spend some more time away from all this noise and kind of get out and just start experience life and living and having new experiences. I think you have to find out who you are before you're going to figure out what your calling is. You have to get to know you, to know what your strengths are and your weaknesses. And then if you're taking advantage of the opportunities that become available to you, you're going to find your place. God's going to use you. You have to be open to it, and just ask God, hey, open the doors for me that need to be opened and close the ones that need to be closed. I pray that a lot. And so you know, and so just there may not be a sign that says, hey, do this, but you can feel like it's the right choice, and you just have to go with it.